Kiba flexed her hand, clenching and unclenching her fist repeatedly. She'd finally gotten full control over her body again. She could move without any difficulties or weird issues. "How are you feeling?" Hada asked as he looked down at Kiba in her bed. "Good. I can move my body like I used to, although I feel light." Kiba frowned. In fact, her body felt very different. But she couldn't figure out how to describe it. "That would be the enhancements that Garaki made," Hada said. "We want to run some tests, to see exactly how much stronger you've become. Do you feel like you can take the tests now, or do you want to wait a while?" "I'll do it," Kiba said, with a determined look on her face. "I want to see what they did to me." XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Kiba was guided to a test chamber, and inside that chamber was Seikyo, waiting patiently. Now she was wearing a more extravagant outfit. A black and red dress with a red bow around her neck. A big black witch's hat, again with a red bow on it. A red slit was painted on her forehead, and her hair was now perfectly brushed. "So you're Kiba?" Seikyo said, looking Kiba over thoroughly. "People talk about you a lot. As they should. I am the great Kiba after all." Kiba said proudly, her face turning red from feelings of elation, knowing her family still had her in their minds and hearts. "But who are you? I guess you're a new arrival?" "Technically," Seikyo answered. "Seikyo is a Grimm. The first sentient Grimm," said Hada over the speakers. "Wait, what?" Kiba asked, her eyes going wide, as she stared at Seikyo in awe. Wait. You mean to tell me Yami had a daughter?" "I'm an aunt." "Technically," Seikyo answered. "Although my father chose to see me as a sister." "But you still call him father?" Kiba asked, raising an eyebrow. "It just happens." Seikyo shrugged. "Now, shall we start with the test?" Seikyo is being powered by the negative energy storage we have nearby. And she's even more unkillable than Fu. So don't worry about holding back. Hada said. "Although, I'd appreciate it if you didn't aim for the heart. Her heart getting destroyed makes her regeneration take longer." "Got it." Kiba looked over at Seikyo and took a deep breath. "Alright, let's see what we're made of." And then Kiba was promptly covered in a black aura. Huh? Slam! Suddenly Kiba was slammed into a wall by an invisible force. In actuality, it was Seikyo making use of telekinesis. Except it wasn't really telekinesis. She just wrapped things up in a negative energy barrier and then started moving them around. Slam! 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 Seikyo continued to slam Kiba into the walls, but Kiba wasn't harmed. Kiba moved her arm and immediately broke the barrier that was surrounding her body. Interesting. Seikyo frowned. She broke through that barrier so easily. I can't beat her in a battle of strength. Waving her hand, Seikyo made 5 Deathstalkers and sent them to Kiba. Kiba punched the one closest to her, and it instantly shattered to pieces, and the wind pressure from her punch pushed the other one back and forced Seikyo to put a shield around her. Kiba looked at her fist in shock. Whoa. Indeed, you are very strong, Seikyo said. She dispelled her Deathstalkers and focused her power into her force field while putting her hand behind her back. It seems a queen is a good match for a witch. I doubt I could fight you so easily in my old form, Kiba admitted, before smirking. But it seems those villains made a grave mistake, and unlocked my true potential. Kiba dashed forward and punched Seikyo's barrier, shattering it, only for Seikyo to quickly repair it. Smash! 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 Kiba continued to casually smash apart the barrier with only one hand, before deciding to get a bit serious, destroying the barrier with one hand, and punching Seikyo in the face with the other. Seikyo's head immediately exploded like a watermelon. But that didn't stop her from attacking. She moved the hand that was behind her in front of her, aimed right at Kiba's chest, and unleashed the attack she was charging. Bear! A huge black beam, twice the size of Kiba's body, slammed into her, knocking her back and holding her against the wall as the energy slammed against her. Her hospital gown was immediately destroyed, and Kiba could feel the energy burning her, tearing at her skin and pressing against her bones and organs. But she could also feel something else. Her body was fighting back, even without her having to do anything. Her wounds were fixing themselves before they could even fully form, making it seem at first glance like this powerful attack was doing nothing. Although it did hurt like hell. Kiba grabbed the wall and forced herself to the ground, before attempting to walk through the beam. The beam was made up of all the negative energy Seikyo had available to her at the time, which was quite a bit due to the negative energy storage nearby. So even with her enhanced strength, Kiba struggled to walk through the beam. What's worse was that she was getting weaker and weaker at an extraordinary pace, due to the strain of having to struggle against the beam and regenerate the damage. She was using up her blood storage, fast. I have to get out of the beam. And so, Kiba jumped up, out of the beam's range and into the air. In response, Seikyo just moved the beam up. Oh, Kiba said as the beam quickly started coming up at her. How could she dodge it, if she couldn't move in midair? At least that's what she thought. Suddenly she felt something bulging in her back, and then a pair of black bat wings sprouted. With an instinctual flap of her wings, she flew to the left, dodging the beam. Huh? Kiba immediately turned her head to look at her new wings. A shocked expression overtakes her features, making her mouth hang open. I can fly? Seikyo moved her beam to follow Kiba, but she flew around to avoid it. This is surprisingly easy, Kiba thought as she flew around. She felt some kind of instinct or muscle memory. Like she'd done this before somehow. I can't hit her like this, Seikyo thought as she tried to think of ways to attack. Only for her arms to get grabbed by her own shadow. What? Oh? Kiba didn't really know how she did that, she just wanted to stop Seikyo from attacking, and another instinct activated in her. As if something was telling her how to use her power, only in a very basic way. The shadow wrapped around Seikyo, holding her in place. Let me go, Seikyo growled as she struggled against the shadow. I'd say I've won this bout. Kiba laughed confidently. Not yet, Seikyo shouted as she created a force field from her body, and then expanded it, forcing the shadow off of her. Then she flew up, floating in the air using her pseudo-telekinesis. Then she used her power to make copies of herself. Each one started shooting dark beams at Kiba, but she flew through them, taking minimal damage and smashing apart each clone with blinding speed, before landing a blow on the real one, once again destroying her head, and sending her body flying into the wall so hard, it splat. Before Seikyo could counter, Kiba rushed at her body and punched right through her stomach. And while Kiba's fist was in her stomach, Seikyo grabbed Kiba's face and dug her fingers into Kiba's eyes. Ah! Kiba cried out in pain. She flew back as she held her bleeding eyes. They were rapidly regenerating, but it still hurt like hell. Alright, that's enough, Hada said over the loudspeaker. Test is over. Let's calm down now. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX also confirmed what they already knew: Kiba's strength was far too dangerous to let her go back to the house, at least at the moment. Naturally, with the many geniuses that had available to them, a solution to this issue didn't take long to find. Snap! Darn it! Kiba hissed as she broke yet another stress ball. She'd been trying for hours now to control her strength, but to little avail. She was just too strong. The door slid open, and Mai came in, holding a black piece of clothing. Hey Kiba, we've finally managed to finish it. All we need to do is test it. Test what? Kiba asked, having no idea what she was talking about. Oh right. I guess I need to introduce this latest invention. Mai pulled up the outfit, revealing that it was a bull-body, super tight-looking suit. This is the restrictor suit. It's made to restrict your strength, putting you back at a level of power you were before you were altered, without increasing your blood consumption by much. With this, you should be able to control your strength, while also using your other new abilities. Wonderful! Excellent work as always Dr. Kiba said as she took the suit, grinning ear to ear. Quickly she put it on and immediately noticed a difference. Aside from how tight the suit was, her movements felt far heavier, but not enough to hamper her day-to-day activities, or even keep her from fighting. She just felt far more in control of her own strength. Kiba picked up a stress ball and squeezed. And this time, the ball didn't break. She smiled. Truly magnificent. Now I can finally return to my fortress. Aha. We just need to run a few more tests to make absolutely certain you're okay to go back. Mai said. I'm sure they're all waiting to see you. That's right. Kiba jumped up and punched the air. The Queen of Eternal Darkness. It's back.